In the lower left corner of the map display, click the button to switch to Layout View. Then find the Layout Tools toolbar, which is different from the other Tools toolbar. Click on the Zoom Whole Page button, if necessary, to see the entire map page. From the main menu bar, choose File, Page and Print Setup. Make sure that the box to use printer paper settings is not checked. Then check the button to scale map elements proportionally to changes in page size. Fill the buttons to change the map page size to landscape orientation, and also set the paper to landscape. Double-check the layout on the page using this little icon, and then click OK. On the main menu bar, choose Customize, ArcMap Options. Click on the Layout View tab. Notice the options for setting the rulers. Click the box to show the grid and notice that the spacing is set to 1/4 inch. Check the box to snap elements to the grid and make sure that the snap tolerance is set to 0.2 inches. Click OK. Find the Tools toolbar and click on the Fixed Zoom Out button. Click it several times and notice how the map gets smaller inside the data frame. Then find the Fixed Zoom In button on the Tools toolbar and click it several times to return to the initial extent. Now find the Fixed Zoom Out button on the Layout toolbar. Click it several times and notice that the entire page gets smaller. Find the Zoom Whole Page button on the Layout toolbar to fill the map window with the layout again. Click on the Select Elements tool on the Tools or on the Drawing toolbar. Click the Hazards frame to select it, and click and drag it to a new location. Notice how it snaps to the grid. Use the blue handles on the left side to give it a 0.75 inch margin, or 3 dots. Do the same for the top and for the bottom. In the table of contents, right-click the Hazards data frame and choose Properties. Click on the Size and Position tab. Check that the X and Y positions are set to 3/4 of an inch. In the Size window, uncheck the As Percentage box if it is checked. Set the frame size to 6 inches wide and 7 inches high. Click OK. Use the Zoom and Pan tools on the Tools toolbar to center the map inside the data frame and make it as large as possible. From the main menu bar, choose Insert Data Frame. Click on the Select Elements tool. Place the tool inside the new data frame and click and drag it to a location in the lower right. Use snapping to place it exactly 1/4 inch from the Hazards frame and exactly 3/4 of an inch from the page margins. Find the new data frame name in the table of contents and click it twice slowly so that you can type in the new name, USA, and press Enter. If the name appears in boldface type, it is already the active frame. If not, you must right-click it and choose Activate. Click on the Add Data button. Navigate to the MGIS Data folder and open the USA folder. Open the US Data Geodatabase. Click on the States feature class and add it to the map. On the Tools toolbar, click on the Zoom In tool and zoom in to the lower 48 states. You can use Pan to adjust the position inside the window. Right-click the states layer and choose a light yellow color for the states. Right-click the USA data frame name and choose Properties, or simply double-click it to open the properties. Click on the Extent Indicators tab. Click on the hazard's name in the window to highlight it and click the greater than button to move it to the right side. Check the box to use Simple Extent. Click on the Frame button and use a drop-down to choose a 3-point black border for the extent rectangle. Change its color to a dark orange. Click OK and OK. Right-click on the USA data frame and open its properties. Click the Coordinate System tab and read the information. On the Coordinate System tab, expand the Projected Coordinate Systems folder, and then expand the World folder. Find the Mercator World projection and click on it to select it. Click OK to use the projection. Check the box not to warn me about the geographic coordinate system in the session again, and click Yes to use it. Right-click or double-click the USA data frame to open its properties. Click on the Size and Position tab. Set the data frame height to exactly 2 inches and click OK. Use the Zoom and Pan tools on the Tools toolbar to center the map inside the frame. On the Draw toolbar, click on the New Text tool. Click Offshore on the map and type Pacific Ocean. Press Enter. Click once on the text to select it. The blue dashed line indicates that it's currently selected. However, this horizontal label does not fit well, so click the Delete key to remove it. Click the small arrow next to the Text tool and choose Splined Text. Click to enter the vertices of a line that curves along the coast. Double-click to end the line. A small text box appears. Type in Pacific Ocean and press Enter. The text appears splined along the line you entered, but it's too small. On the Draw toolbar, change the font size to 24 and the style to italic. Also change the color to blue using all the buttons on the Draw toolbar. Right-click the Pacific Ocean text and choose Properties. Change the character spacing to 36 points to stretch the label out along the coast. Click OK. If necessary, you can adjust where the label goes. Right-click the Capitals layer and choose Properties. Click on the Display tab and check the Display Expression field to make sure it is set to Name. Then click OK. Click on the Labeling drop-down, but you cannot choose the Label tool because you are not in Data View. Click on the menu bar to make the menu go away. Then click on the Data View button. You want to be sure you're in the hazards frame, so you may need to right-click it and choose Activate. Click on the Labeling drop-down and choose the Label tool. The Label tool options window will appear. Keep the default option to automatically find the best placement, and fill the button to choose a style. Scroll down and find the capital style and choose it from the list. Click on the capital of Oregon and watch the label appear. If you accidentally click the wrong feature, delete the label and try again. Then click on the capital of Washington. Olympia. Click on the Select Elements tool and use it to click and drag the labels to the best position so that they can be clearly seen. Click the button to return to Layout View. Right-click the Volcanoes layer and choose Open Attribute Table. Click the Select by Attributes button in the table window. Find the field Known Eruptions and double-click it to enter it below. Click on the Greater Than or Equals to button, and then type the value 5. Verify the expression, and then click Apply. Close the table window. Right-click the Volcanoes layer name in the table of contents and choose Selection, Create Layer from Selected Features. A new layer appears at the top of the table of contents. Click it twice slowly to rename it Volcano Labels. Press Enter. Right-click the Volcanoes layer and choose Selection, Clear Selected Features. Double-click the Volcano Labels layer to open its properties and click on the Labels tab. Check the box to label the features in the layer. Make sure the label field is set to Name and change the font to Arial 10 point. Make it bold. To give them halos, click on the Symbol button. Then click on the Edit Symbol button in the Style selector. Click on the Mask tab and choose Halo. Keep the size at 2 and click OK and OK. Keeping the Layer Properties window open, click on the Symbology tab. Click on the symbol to set it. Set the symbol to Circle 1 and set the size to 1. Change the color to no color and click OK twice. Double-click the Volcanoes layer to open its properties and click on the Labels tab. Turn on the labels and set the label field to Known Eruptions. Set the symbol to Arial 8 point. Click on the Placement Properties button and click the button to place the label on top of the point. Click OK and OK. Examine the map to make sure you've set everything correctly. You should have eruption numbers in the triangles and name labels for 7 volcanoes. Right-click the Hazards data frame in the table of contents and choose Convert Labels to Annotation. Fill the button to store the annotation in the map, and notice the reference scale. Yours may be different. Choose to create annotation for features in the current extent. Make sure that only volcano labels and volcanoes are listed. Keep the box checked to convert unplaced labels to unplaced annotation. Click Convert to create the annotation. In the Overflow Annotation window, you can right-click one entry and choose Flash Feature. It will flash on the screen, allowing you to see it, although you may need to move the window. Try it several times if necessary. We don't want the eruption labels for the smaller triangles. For each piece of annotation that's a number less than 5, right-click it and choose Delete. If there's annotation you want to place, you can right-click it and choose Add Annotation. The ones in this window, however, all need to be deleted. When the window is empty, close it. From the main menu bar, choose Customize ArcMap Options. Turn off the Snap Elements to Grid by unchecking the box and click OK. Click on the Data View button. Click on the Select Elements tool. Click on the label for Baker to select it and move it to the best location. Then click on the 13 inside the triangle to select it and use the mouse or the arrow keys to move it to the center of the triangle. Using the Select Elements tool, carefully select and delete any annotation less than 4 inside of the triangles. You can also draw a box around the 0 values to select them all and delete them all at once. Adjust the remaining labels for the best effect. Click on the Layout button to return to Layout View. Use the Zoom and Pan tools on the Tools toolbar to resize or shift the map inside the data frame again. Right-click the Hazards data frame and choose Reference Scale, Set Reference Scale. Click on the Zoom In tool and zoom in to Mount St. Helens. See how the symbols get bigger because we set the reference scale. Return to the previous extent. Double-click the Highways layer to open its properties and click on the Symbology tab. Hold the Shift key and click on the symbols for Interstate and Freeway so that both are selected. Right-click them and choose Group Values. Repeat the previous step. Click on Arterial and Unclassified. Right-click them and choose Group Values. Click on the text under the label heading and change the label simply to Interstates and Highways. Double-click the Interstate symbol and set it to a plain 3.4 point thick simple brown line. Click OK. Double-click on the arterial symbol and change it to a 1.5 thick line of the same color. Click OK. And then click OK to accept the symbols. Double-click on the Counties layer to open its properties. Click on the symbol heading above the shades and choose Properties for all symbols. Change the outline color to 10% gray. Click OK and OK. Choose the Select Elements tool. Right-click the Hazards frame and choose Activate. The legend is always based on the active frame. Choose Insert Legend, and a legend wizard will appear. examine the list of legend items and make sure you want them all. Volcano Labels has only labels, so click it and then click on the back button to move it out of the list. Next, establish the order of the layers. To move a layer, click on it to select it and select up or down to move it. Put volcanoes first, then click counties and move it underneath volcanoes. Next, move highways up below counties, then capitals, then rivers, and then states. Click Next. Select and delete the legend title and click Next. For the border, click the drop-down and choose the 1-point border. Make sure that the gap is set to 10 points. Click Next. To choose a different style patch, click on the Rivers layer, click on the Line options, and choose the Flowing Water. Click Next. This section gives very detailed control that we don't need right now. It's fine to leave the defaults. Click Finish. The legend appears in the middle of the map. Click and drag it next to the map frame and even with its top. Right-click the legend and choose Properties. Click on the Items tab. Click on the Volcanoes layer and click the Style button underneath. Choose the item horizontal single symbol layer name and label. Click to select it and choose OK. Click OK again and examine the change in the legend. Click on the Volcanoes layer in the table of contents twice slowly and change its name to Known Eruptions. Click Enter. The name will change in the legend as well. Right-click the legend and choose Properties. Click on the Items tab. Click on the Highways entry and click the Style button. Set its style to the same one as used for the volcanoes and click OK and OK. In the table of contents, click twice slowly on the Pop per square mile subheading under the Counties layer. Rename it People per square mile and click Enter. Click twice on the Capitals layer in the table of contents. Change its name to State Capitals and click Enter. Double-click on the legend to open its properties. Click on the Items tab and move it over slightly so that you can see the map. Select the highways and check the box to place items in a new column. Click Apply. In the Legend Properties window, click on the Size and Position tab. Leave the height alone, but set the width to 3.275 inches and click OK. Click on the legend and move the snap. Use the grid to move it to exactly a 1/4 inch above the location map and a 1/4 inch to the left. You may need to turn snapping back on. To turn it back on, go to Customize ArcMap Options. Click on the Layout View tab and check the grid box to snap elements to. Click OK. To make sure it is active, right-click the hazard's frame name and choose Activate. Choose Insert Scale Bar from the main menu. Choose the alternating scale bar 1 style and click OK. Click on the Select Elements tool if necessary, then click and drag the scale bar to the lower right of the map, on top of Oregon. Use the Zoom In tool on the Layout toolbar to zoom into the scale bar to examine it more closely. Click on the Select Elements tool. Click the right boundary of the scale bar and drag it to make it shorter. Do it several times if necessary until it is about 120 miles long. Double-click the scale bar to open its properties and click on the Scale and Units tab. Under When Resizing, change it to Adjust Number of Divisions. Set the division value to 50 and set the number of subdivisions to 2. Click on the Frame tab. Set the background color to sand to separate the bar from the roads behind it. Click OK. Examine the new scale bar. Resize it to 100 miles long, and then place it neatly in the lower right corner of the state. On the Layout toolbar, click the Zoom Whole Page button. From the main menu bar, choose Insert, North Arrow. Pick a slender, unobtrusive symbol, like Esri North 60. Click on the Properties button and examine the settings. Then click OK and OK. Click the Select Elements tool and move the north arrow to the lower right corner of the frame. Keep it small and out of the way. Right-click on the USA data frame in the table of contents and choose Properties. Click on the Grids tab. Click on New Grid and choose the Graticule grid. Click Next. Choose Graticule and Labels and accept the default intervals. Click Next. Accept the defaults on the axes and legend and click Next. Accept the defaults on the graticules. Click Finish and then OK. Double-click the USA data frame to open its properties. Uncheck the Graticule grid box and click OK. On the main menu bar, choose Insert, Title. Double-click the text box that appears to open its properties. Replace the text with Pacific Northwest. Press Enter, and on the second line, type Volcanic Hazards. Click OK. On the Draw toolbar, while it's still selected, set the font size to 18 and make it bold. Click and drag to center it above the legend, aligning it with the top of the hazards frame. On the main menu bar, choose Insert Text. A tiny text box appears. In it, type by and your name and press Enter. While it's still selected, click and drag it underneath the title, centering it below it. On the Draw toolbar, click the Lettering drop-down and choose Rectangle Text. Click and drag to create a box inside the legend in the empty space. Double-click inside the new text box to open its properties. Click on the Text tab and type the map citation for the data into the box without using any Enter keys. Click on Left Justified to make sure that the text is left justified. Then click on the Frame tab and set the border to None. Click OK. While the text is still selected, use the Draw toolbar to set the font size to 8. Adjust the box to fit neatly inside the legend. On the main menu bar, choose Insert, Neatline. Fill the button to place around all elements. Set the gap to 10 points. Click the drop-down and choose the triple graded border. Set the background color to white. Click OK. Click on the Save Map button to save the map before you print it. Choose File, Print from the main menu bar. Examine the page settings to make sure that the map and the page size fit each other. In this case, they don't, so we need to adjust it. Click Setup to change the printer or adjust the print settings. Choose the desired printer. Set the paper to landscape to match the map page size and orientation. Now they fit and you are ready to go. Click OK and then click OK to make the print. On the main menu bar, choose File, Export Map. Use the drop-down to change the name and location for the PDF if you need to. Change the Save As type to PDF or another format that you desire. Click on the Options drop-down flag to show the optional settings. Particularly pay attention to the resolution, as the defaults are sometimes not fine enough. They should be at least 300 dpi. Click Save to save the map.